just kind of the artist lifestyle. And I ask this because my wife works for the state, and so we're able to get, you know, benefits and a pension, and I feel very fortunate in that regard. I know a lot of artists they're not in that sort of fortunate situation.
Yeah, I know, I'm sure of it, yes. Well, we have a state pension. When you're 65, you get a state pension. We also have a pension because, you know, all through life you can put money into a pension scheme, and that's paying out. So we have a state pension and a paid for private pension. But the royalties are from DC and Forbidden Planet and Rebellion, who owns 2000 AD, they all mount up, and so we're not doing too badly. I mean, we're not rich by any stretch of the imagination. We have a house with a moat. It's not a castle. It's called a hall, but it's called a hall because there was an old manor house inside the moat. It's a rectangular moat like that, still there, and our house stands in front of it, and there would have been an old manor house within the still existing moat, which is no longer there. We think it disappeared in the 1700s sometime. So we inherited the name of the old house. So we've got a house that's got a hall at the end of it, and we've got this moat. But that doesn't mean we're rich. It just happened to be on the market when we first came here. But we're doing okay. And we also have the National Health Service, which I'd recommend to you Americans. You know, I think it's a great idea. We don't have to pay for it. You go to hospital, they fix you up, and they don't say, how are you going to pay for that? They say fine, bye. I would recommend it highly. You just put a little bit aside every month or so in tax, and it goes into the National Health Service, which is strained at the moment. But somebody at your side of the pond ought to take up that idea. Not that I want to get political or anything like that. Speaking of which, no, I won't go there.
Has this shelter in place affected you in your semi-retired state?
Not really. I mean, we're in a sort of we're just outside of a village. We're at the top of a hill, and the village is within sight, but we're a little bit outside of the village, and you know, we can go for weeks without seeing it, without going anywhere. We go once a week to the shops to get our food provision, and the village has a post office, so I posted something yesterday. But so much now is done online. You know, I can do my entire work on my computer, and then I just go to, what's it called? There's some website where you just post the file, and bingo, it's there. You don't really have to. It can all be done online. So, I mean, there was a panic about whether there was going to be enough food, about whether there's going to be enough toilet rolls. I think you had that, didn't you? And the other thing, of course, is that all the comic shops are closed. So how that is going to affect sales of anything, whether sales will continue online somehow, I don't know. Because all the people at DC, it's been ages since I've had any contact with the Marvel folk, but all the people at DC, they've all taken their computers home with them, and presumably the offices are empty. Whether they're still producing anything, I don't know. I mean, they sent me a royalty check only this week, so somebody in the accounts department must be working from somewhere. Whether that will ultimately affect freelancers, I don't know. Whether the whole industry will continue, you know, people actually requiring artists to draw comics as opposed to people making films of this stuff. I don't know how long. What about you? What sort of are you working professionally?
I've been very lucky. I can't afford to make enough money off my indie comics, and I have a day job. And
Yeah.
my day job, I have been able to transfer over to online. I teach guitar lessons at the local music shop. And
Oh, really?
the bulk of my students have agreed to come with me over to Zoom like this. And so I've lost some students, but I'm still, making a living to pay for my mortgage. So
Oh, really?
I'm very lucky. So, and I mentioned my wife, she works for the state. And so she's switched over to, remote work. And so we're both plugging along, but so many artists in the industry, who are doing art for their living. I'm very concerned for them, and the shop owners and things. Yeah. It's a big deal. So
I mean, in this country, even the pubs are all closed, and the village pub spent 10 years trying to, drum up enough trade to just keep going, and all the restaurants and sort of small restaurants and things, all these little businesses.
Yeah,
they're in such difficulty now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I see. So your day job, you teach the guitar?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to show you something.
Sure.
One Christmas, my son Harry bought me. For ages I've said, one day I'm going to learn the banjo. So one Christmas he bought me this. It's a left-handed banjo, because look, it's got the thing on the top there. Look.
Yeah.
And I still have not learned how to use it. I think maybe, can you play the banjo?
I've never played banjo.
I absolutely love banjo music. I love bluegrass and banjo music. But it's such a beautiful it's such a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Now might be a nice time to look for an online banjo teacher. I'm sure they could.
Well, you're absolutely right. I feel ashamed that I still haven't learned how to play the thing.